Hello everyone, today we're going to experiment by making our own wood putty, not only to save a little bit of money, but also because we want to closely match the putty to the actual wood that we're going to repair. And if you look at this picture here that I'm going to link to, you can see that there are oftentimes the wood putty that you buy, really sticks out and makes too much of a scar. So we're going to try to do this on our own and create a better product. So what we're going to practice on is this 2x4, okay? You can use the regular wood putty like I said, but what we're going to do is we're going to shave off some of the wood from the end of this 2x4. We're going to ding this thing up to create some divots that we want to fill. But the first thing I'm going to do is, like I said, take some of this off of here on the sliding compound miter, and I'm going to save the shavings in the bag, or if you don't have a bag on the side of your saw, then you can just sweep up the shavings that come out off the saw when you're slicing the ends off. Now we're going to make some marks in the wood here in the 2x4 that we're going to attempt to fill. Okay, so we got some grooves in here, and we will fill it. Now, we need to make our wood putty. So we've got this pile of sawdust that I just created, and now we're going to use some of our wood glue that we're going to want to mix in with this stuff. So although we might be saving on wood putty to see how much it's gonna cost us in wood glue here, right? The other thing that I'm noticing is it looks like, the color of the wood glue could potentially lighten up this stuff just a little bit. But we definitely need two of these things to work together. Okay, let's get this on here and let's try to fill this. I'll try to use this guy here. Okay, we're going to let this dry. I think I want to go a little heavier. That way I can sand it off and I don't need to do another application. Almost like you're spackling, right? You want to sometimes make sure that you've got enough material so when it dries, it does not shrink. And if it does, you don't have to go back over it. Okay. Let's take a look at that. Let it dry up, and then we're going to come back in a little while and we're going to see what it looks like. So just stay with me. If you think this video is interesting enough and cool, just hit that like button for me. Okay, so I'm going to do a voiceover here because I lost the original audio for the rest of the video, but you can see that where I laid it on a little thicker, it's a darker color over the top. It feels a lot thicker now than it did when I was applying it earlier, and I'm using the scraper here. This thing is like cement. It's like wood cement. It is hard as a rock. And now I'm going to be taking some sandpaper, some rough grit sandpaper on a block, trying to scrape it. But this stuff is bulletproof. It's not. It's scraping a little bit. It's sanding it down, but it's not really taking off enough. I'd be sitting here for 30 minutes using that thing. So I transitioned to this other sander, but I had broken off the clip that holds the front part of the sandpaper down and trying to use it, but the sandpaper is swimming around, so now that's not working. So far this has been a little bit of a disaster sanding it. Now I'm trying a sanding block with a much heavier grit sandpaper, and that didn't work. I'm now down to the belt sander. So this is what's going to take to get this off here. Again, it was a little thicker than it probably should have put on. The belt sander is doing the job, and it's going to take quite a few passes here, but it definitely has done the job. So keep that in mind if you try this at home. You don't want to put it on as thick as I did. So the belt sander is finally getting it done for us here. Now you can see we've gotten it all off. Just a few scars there where it was originally applied, and it is in there good. It did not shrink. You see a little bit of a color discoloration, but it's not lighter. It's actually a little darker for whatever reason. And it is very hard, I'll tell you that. The thing is hard as a rock in there, and I was pressing in there with my thumbnail. I could not make an indentation. You can do it on the actual wood. It's actually harder. Those little scars there are harder than the 2x4 if I were to press in there. So if you're looking for something that's going to harden, like if you're going to drill something through it later, this thing is I totally recommend for that. So if you are going to be doing some kind of wood putty, you want something harder, that will last a long time, this is it. But learn from my little mistake there by not putting it on too heavy, so it's easier to sand off. And otherwise this thing was a really good experiment. I'm glad I did this. I'm going to be using this again for quite a few situations. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time.